Hey y'all, it's Amber
and Clara.
Welcome to Knead For Reality, where the mixers are loud, the takes are hotter than the oven, and the drama never disappoints.
Grab a glass of wine, coffee, or whatever is around you, preheat to 350, and let's get into it.
Hey buddy.
Hey buddy.
And what is up, weekend friends? Morale is low today.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you are thinking about getting a puppy, don't. I love my dog so much. I think he is the cutest thing ever. But I am so tired.
Dude, on Friday, I drove all the way to work just to get into my cube, open my bag, and realize that I did not have my laptop with me. I live almost an hour away from my office. So I was at the office for maybe 15 minutes, and then I was like, I can't do work. I got to go home. And it's because I have puppy brain. Is this what it's like to have toddlers, babies? Because I am exhausted. I'm not even normally, as you have probably seen on my reels, I put on a face for this. Nothing today. Nothing. Your girl is tired.
I washed my face for this, but look at that yawn. No, I would agree with you. I am enjoying having him in my life, and I know that in a year I will be like, wow, this is great. I love having a dog. But right now, I am questioning every single decision I've ever made. There's so many crumbs on my floor from breaking up treats that I step in it. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I'm excited to get him into training because he is a little fucking gremlin. And he just is a baby shark that keeps on holding me. Also, 1 second, I would like to point out, Amber, our photos in the people section, look at that. Those are the faces of two girls who are so tired.
I feel fantastic.
Well, I'm glad that your cat is a little older. I have a question then for you, Corbyn. Did you go through kitty brain like we are currently in puppy brain?
No, absolutely not. I think with cats it's a little different because they just want to just be left alone most of the time. So when I got him, he was already a year old, so that helps. But when I took him home, he kind of just laid down and was good to go. But he's also just a very mild-tempered cat.
I feel really bad because when I did describe Arlo to Clara, he was giving big cat energy at the Foster's house, and I feel like we've been thoroughly duped.
I've been fucking lied to. Let me tell you about that. I was told that Arlo was like a really cool, chill cat dog. You know, he's potty trained, he's crate trained, he's leash trained. None of the above. Actually, he is potty trained. He had an accident today at Amber's, and I think it's because he got so excited he forgot to pee outside because he was playing with his sister. At least that's what the internet told me. And then crate trained, he's not as bad. He cries in his crate for a minute and then he'll go to sleep and like settle down. And then leash trained, he's good for like the good 10 minutes. And then he starts like attacking his leash and he's like, let's fucking go and start playing tug of war. So we will be addressing that tomorrow in training.
He may not be like a cat, but he sure enjoyed Rex and trying to eat Rex's tail.
Right, okay, Rex? To be fair on Rex's tail, you did give him a toy last week that looks like a cat tail.
This is totally fair. I realized after I gave you guys that I was like, Clara has a cat at home. Oh well.
Yeah, him and Lily are beefing. But I do think Rex has just blessed us with his bathroom experience. Thank you, Rex.
Other than having puppy brain this week, what was your highlight of this week, Clara?
Corbyn and I went fucking speed dating. Actually, okay, I would like to take that back. We had fun speed dating. I will say that for my job, without giving too many details, I had a really big win at work on something that my industry has been working on for the past 20 years. And so I was finally the one who kind of got to see it cross the finish line. So there are a few more steps that have to be taken. And the powers that be, aka those dumbasses on Capitol Hill, hopefully it will come true and I will be able to say I have a win. So I think that I would say that was one of the highlights of my week. And then also Corbyn, I went speed dating. And it wasn't like I am gonna meet the love of my life type of speed dating. It was definitely like I'm
You're
glad I
telling me you didn't
experienced
have like
something.
a Cinderella story moment where you just like looked into someone's eyes and were like, yes, you are my person.
I think I had the opposite reaction where I looked at someone in their eyes and I said, this is going to be the longest 6 minutes of my life.
I don't know, Clara. I think Faith in God boy really could have been a good match for you.
Wow. Okay, that was a stinky one from Rex.
All he did was pee.
Really? Then Amber, you really let one rip.
I am not saying anything. I'm not being blamed.
It was Amber.
It was not me. It's the cats, the fancy feast for the fancy man.
Okay, when it came to speed dating, what they had us do was they had us sit like at different tables. Corbin and I got a number. Corbin was number 1. I was number 2. Oh, just kidding. Corbin was 3. I was 2. And then they like paired us up with a guy and we had to write down on our sheet everything that like their name and then like something to like remember them by. Corbin was like strategic and she did it by like what they were wearing. I absolutely not. I wrote down that one of them was a ballerina. I said one of them was a dish cleaner, but it's not because he was a dish cleaner that was his occupation. It was because he didn't have a dishwasher, so he had to clean the dishes in his sink, and like that's what our comfort. Honestly, I think that's where things went wrong. Corbin, as we were talking about dishwashing habits, and I may have said I have like a little case of the OCD, so that's probably why he didn't match with me. Another one really likes fairy tales and fantasy, so I wrote that down. And then another one is from Maryland, and he can't open crabs, so that was his one identifier.
I feel like that's a very ironic identifier because Maryland crabs. I feel like they're born knowing how to crack a crab.
I feel like that's the first thing they teach you. It's like, oh, you're going to piss and shit yourself in your diaper? Absolutely not. This is how you open a crab. No, let's get to it.
Yeah, crack the crab. Don't actually learn how to drive, though.
Clara, did you not also have somebody tell you that they wanted to have kids like right away? Like one of his first things that he said to you was like, I'm looking to have children.
Yeah, he mentioned about how his family's been nagging him to have nieces and nephews. And he was like, well, could happen sooner than we think. And I said, oh, no. And then one of them told me that they wanted to take me somewhere, like to the beach, because I mentioned I like the beach. And I was like, no.
That's giving creepy. Like, oh my Lord.
I think Corbin and I were on a high afterwards. We did actually have a lot of fun. I would like to take away from this moment that it was a cool time and it was a great experience. I'm glad that we did it. However, I just don't think that I am in a place to date. Another one of them fucking like he said he broke up with his girlfriend of 2 years 2 days ago. And he was like, I didn't want to sit at home. So I looked up speed dating and this was 800 feet from my office. And like, I just like feel like, sir, 1, I'm not a rebound. 2, what in the hell? I was like, maybe you should seek a therapist, like not speed dating.
He was trying to find a therapist in one of you ladies.
I feel like, Clara, though, you missed out on such an experience that I had with my first speed dater. So the way it worked was, I think 5 women showed up and 9 men showed up. So you're supposed to meet everybody. We're getting sat down, whatever. The guy who sits down in front of me, I swear to God, Clara, tell me if I'm wrong, somewhere between 45 and 50. Like
100% was like 50.
So he sits down and he's bald. He's got the strap on his glasses so he doesn't lose them. And his shirt is opened in a way so that his chest hair is reaching out towards me. And I'm like, all right, here we go. Don't look at Clara or I'm going to laugh in this poor man's face. So they start the timer and he doesn't say anything. He doesn't introduce himself. He doesn't ask my name. He just looks at me and goes, books. And I'm like, sure. He goes, your phone case has books on it. And I was like, yes, it does, because my phone was sitting on the table next to me. He's like, so do you like to read? I was like, oh my God, how this night? I mean, Claire and I definitely thought the vibes were off when we walked in. And then there was hope with a couple. Like, there were a couple people that we did say we would talk to again. But I don't know. I don't know that they reached out to us at all.
I haven't had any one of them except for the last one who needs a therapist and not a girlfriend reach out to me, and I have not messaged him back. Listen, I think I was excited about some of the things, and then I remembered who I am. And I remembered that I actually don't like anyone besides you guys and the people in my circle and the men who don't treat me right. Those are my top people.
Amen. I do think that we were very dramatic about it. Like, we were sitting in Clara's car before it's happening, like counting down the steps, like, oh my God, we have to go in 5 minutes. Like, what are we going to do? How do we do this? Clara, do you have an opening question? I don't know. What's your opening question? Oh my. And we never used them because it actually ended up being very fun, very low key. Because I think once we got there and we kind of looked around, we were like, oh, okay, it's low stakes. Everybody here is doing the same thing. Once you can really sit back and be like, okay, let's just see what happens. Let's just see where this goes. It ended up being very fun. No matches for me, but that's okay. I will say I think I have a lot of personality, and I don't know that these men were ready for the amount of personality I had, but that's okay. I'm not looking to lead a boring life. I'm looking to lead a very outgoing life.
You should put that on a greeting card.
I was gonna say, when it came to the conversation, the one guy came up and like, definitely not my type. I was like, okay, I don't know how I'm gonna roll with this. So I like look at him and I go, do you feel silly? He was like, yeah, I feel kind of silly. And I said, okay, cool. What is your most outrageous conspiracy theory? And then I was like, what else did I ask him? I think I was like, what's an opinion that like is way out of like everyone else, your most controversial opinion? And this man responded with me. He goes, I don't think Donald Trump was actually attempted to be assassinated. I was like, word. Word. I was like, Jeffrey Epstein's still alive. He was like, I can see it. So I got that out of the way. But he unfortunately did want to talk to me more. So I'm not doing that because like, I thought that would scare him away, honestly. I thought it would scare a lot of them away.
Amber, I did have one that I wanted to ask you about because I'm sitting there chatting with this one guy. And just to put it out there, if any of you that were at speed dating ever listened to this, you were all very nice, okay? We have nothing against you. We had a great time. Let's just get that out there. Just wasn't any matches, okay? I think we can all be adults about this. But I'm talking to this one guy, Amber, and we get onto the topic of Harry Potter.
Okay.
Now, you are a Hufflepuff. I am a Ravenclaw. We know this. We took the quiz. We have the merch. I asked this guy, because he says he loves Harry Potter, what's your Hogwarts house? And he goes, I just think people who like that and like know that are kind of cringy. Thoughts?
Man needs to be canceled. Are you a real Harry Potter fan if you don't actually take the quiz? I gotta know. Like, I needed to know what house I belong to so that when I read the books, I could be like, I understand why the Sorting Hat put me in Hufflepuff and not Slytherin nor Gryffindor, even though I feel like that should have been a close contender. I do want to be the hero. But I am a Hufflepuff.
Well, the way it was going, it's like I had the guy first and then Corbyn had him. So they would go to Corbyn and be like, that's your friend. And Corbyn's like, yeah. Like, I was just warming them up for her. We were talking about the podcast, and then he would go, so you have a podcast, huh?
I'd be like, wow, how'd you know that? No, I'm just kidding. But it was funny. This one poor guy, I felt so terrible because we're sitting there, we're chatting, and somehow we get on top like, yeah, I'm a talker. I love to talk. You know, this is why we have the podcast. And he goes, oh, your friend Clara said she's a talker too. And I was like, sir, I apologize. You may just want to move to the next table. I don't know how to help you. We certainly, we gave them a lot to think about.
It sounds like it, and I really wish I was in town to see that. I feel like that would have been very fun.
Amber,
You can come to the next one.
I would have been like, we need her to jump in. She's married, but it's fine. Let's just have her jump in.
Amber, you need to be the best friend from Devil Wears Prada, where when Anne Hathaway leaves, she's like, why are you single? Why are you this? Do you have socials? I'll be looking at you. That needs to be you next time we go. You and my friend Nora can sit there and do that for us.
Good thing I love asking questions because your girl's got a lot. I need to know everything.
Anyway, that was, I would say, some good highlights. I did do solid core today. My core is becoming sore, so that's fine.
No, it's becoming solid.
There wasn't like towers between us right now. I just like chuck something at you, but I can't. Amber, how was your weekend? I'm sorry, Corbin, I just like totally took that over.
That's okay because that was very entertaining, ladies, and I'm very excited for the next one. Mine was good. I drove to the Land of Sheetz Friday night, aka Altoona, PA. Because that was my halfway point to going to where my grandma lives. Because always for Memorial Day, my dad's side, they do a golf outing up. And I don't know how it so happened that my mom's side and my dad's side both have some sort of family members that camp live up there. So I stayed at my grandma's house with Isabella and her boyfriend. And we went to a middle of the nowhere diner. It's fantastic. If you are in Conneaut Lake, go to Miller's Factory. They had the best omelet and hash browns. Chef's kiss. And then we got to see my uncle, and he's doing great at whatever age. Ben and I came to the conclusion, 63? Yeah. He's just living life. No grays. Flirting with all the nurses. He's living. And then I got to see my grandma, which was nice, and some of my cousin. I got to see a cousin. Well, no, I got to see a few more cousins than that. A few cousins, a few aunt and uncles. So, yeah. And then I woke up at 5 a.m. today to be back.
So you said you stopped in Altoona, and I know we've had the great pizza debate on this podcast with Clara's weird cheeseless pizza.
It's not mine. It's the state of Rhode Island.
But have you heard of Altoona pizza? Do either of you know what Altoona pizza is?
No.
Okay. So at work, we did this best pizza toppings whiteboard question, and somebody wrote Altoona pizza. We did not know what it is. We looked it up, and it is specifically diverse to the region of Altoona. It is pizza featuring a thick crust topped with tomato sauce, salami, green peppers, and the distinct feature is melted yellow American cheese on top of each slice.
I would like to take my cheeseless pizza over that any single fucking day.
I'll still eat the American cheese slice, but that is a foul thing to put on a pizza. Like a Kraft Singles American cheese.
Oh yeah,
that's
like
giving
straight up.
Honestly, I'm not shocked by that whatsoever because Altoona is literally in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania.
It's probably one of the most
I'm surprised that
towns.
they don't do that at Sheetz then. If it's the Land of Sheetz, why not bring it, to all of them? But maybe Mr. Sheetz knows.
Sheetz said we don't want to alienate our audience.
Own it. You're from Altoona. Get the pizza with the cheese.
Well, that sounds like a nice trip. I'm glad that you guys see your family. Got to get out of the DC a little bit too. That was probably fun.
It was totally worth the essentially 12-hour round trip in 48 hours. So highly recommend. It was good, especially because I don't think I'm going to see my siblings again until July. So it was nice to just hang out. Not really chill, but it was nice. Oh, but we set off these fireworks and we bought them because Ashley's dating a guy named Joe, and the firework that we bought was called Capo Joe. And then they had an elephant-looking firework, and its name was Ellie, and Ashley's dog's name is Ellie. So our firework theme was Ashley-themed. Yeah.
Wait,
and they were great.
I love that. Also, sorry, I was looking at myself in the mirror because I knew I had scratches here, and also Arlo, went for my neck the other day that it looked like I had a hickey. He didn't go for it, but he definitely was nuzzling up in it and nibbled at me, and I was like, I am your mother. This is wrong. Anyway.
Clara, are you sure it's not from speed dating? I mean, I know we were together the whole time, but maybe I missed something.
Also, I wonder if I've ever seen any of these men on Hinge that I was like, absolutely no.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, how embarrassing would it be to walk up and have it be somebody that you like, that ghosted you, or that like you swiped on and didn't swipe on you? Like, how embarrassing.
Oh,
Sorry,
100%. I always get ignored by men I like. It's my favorite thing. And in the whole entire world. Anyway, speaking about men I would love to ignore. Danny Boko on this week's episode of The Valley. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Just a note for Clara and Amber, the more hate on Danny Buku, the more my dad enjoyed the episode. He was a big fan of Clara's rant last week. I just thought I should share.
I did get the same feedback. Shout out Corbyn's dad for the feedback. So please, Clara, why don't you kick us off?
Let me tell you. If there was a machine in this world that was similar to Thor's like hammer, where you could just like whack-a-mole men, I would whack the fuck out of that fucking tiny little mole named Danny Boko. I don't condone violence, but if your name is Danny Boko, I do condone violence on you. I think that he is probably the most disgusting man I've ever seen on reality TV. Like, it might go Dakota Morrison, Danny Boko, Jax Taylor, Tom Sandoval, and then DJ James Kennedy. Actually, DJ James Kennedy and Tom Sandoval can be switched. Sandoval was a little bit better in my eyes when he got to Traders. But like he's just so foul to me that like the way that he doesn't take any accountability in his fucking confessionals either. His apology to his wife was like disgustingly dumb. And when I will pull it up while you talk about your opinions of him, but I find no reason for him to be on my TV screen, and I wish they would kick him off.
Well, first I want to say that I thought it was funny that they had mistaken that crowning in the beginning of the episode, because that actually happened at Miss Universe. I'm blanking on what year.
Talking about the Steve Harvey year? Oh, I feel like it was 2017, but let me look. It was 2015 when he crowned the incorrect Miss Universe.
I had a feeling that it was around that 2015, like you said, 2017 era. Yeah, so I was like, oh my gosh, what a flashback that is. Haha, Nia. I literally have in my notes that he is a child. I could not believe he was continuing to disrespect Nia after all that went down. But what I thought was very interesting to see was that next morning on the conversation that Nia and Danny were having about how they don't actually have those conversations in front of the camera. And I was thinking to myself, so then you're not really actually showing us your lives. Mm-hmm. And it's probably because of what we saw him do to Nia this at the beginning of this episode and all of last episode, essentially, that he is a butthole and that he does disrespect his wife and she doesn't want to show it on screen, which I get because, jumping almost to the end of the episode, I guess, where Kristen Doty's talking about how they have those boundaries and they keep certain things private because that's a relationship. I get it. But if it keeps coming if this happened and people kind of know that you're kind of a shady dude, own the storyline and go to therapy. You know what I mean? Like, it makes it feel like it's not really reality TV at this point, because I think in what we also saw in the next week's preview is their relationship is going to be a hot topic.
Sorry, I'm looking at this and I'm realizing I never finished the episode.
It's going to be a quick chat.
Fully thought. I watched this whole entire thing and I'm like, wait, what is she talking about?
Dude, I made sure I finished this before I went to Kanye this past weekend because I won't have time.
I'm pretty sure I laid down in bed and had my headphones and plugged them in and then fell asleep. I watched the beginning of it. I did watch the beginning of it because that's what it's saying.
Clara, it's okay. We were under a lot of stress this week, okay? It was a very stressful Friday.
It was stressful. I have puppy brain. Here's my puppy brain example.
Literally puppy brain. I forget my laptop. You forget you finished the episode. Did not finish the episode.
Like, literally.
Oh my gosh.
Something I'm trying to make my livelihood. I can't even get this right. Okay.
Wait, so then what was the last thing you remember watching?
Her putting like Danny to bed, and she was like, "Okay, Daniel," and she's trying to take off his shoes. Was that from last week's episode or this week?
Dude, you are still such in the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, so I must have only watched the beginning of it. I'm so sorry, but
no, you're good.
But I feel like what we do have to cover is on Danny, so it's fine. I wanted to tell you guys about his apology, which was on his story a few days ago, to the person I love most, my beautiful wife. I am so sorry. Watching these last few episodes back hasn't been easy. Was a very difficult season of life and a version of myself that I'm embarrassed by and not proud of. A short fuse, stress, alcohol, and lack of sleep are never a good combination, but that's not an excuse. I should never have taken any of it out on you. Balancing parenthood and life can stretch you in ways you don't fully realize until you see yourself through a different lens. I love and honor and respect you deeply. I did not show that in some of these moments. Nia, I love you so much. I'm grateful for you, our family, and this beautiful, chaotic life we've built together. I thank God every single day. My personal thoughts on this fucking apology was that this was a fucking bullshit apology. I feel like he needs to apologize to every other person. He didn't apologize to fucking Lala about the attitude that he was giving her and the bullshit that they were doing. So I just feel like it was all totally bullshit.
Well, yeah, because what we gathered about Danny and Nia's relationship is that they really care about what they look like. And I think that goes back to Nia being Miss USA. I think a lot of it also has to do with Danny being an actor and not having, always being sure he's in a good light because you don't want bad press. And so I think I could see why it is hard for them because they're letting their true colors show. And I think in the context of the Valley, it should be fine. This is a thing that happens in relationships and it's okay. You guys are going to work through it. I know you will. But hiding it, I think, is making it worse, in my opinion, because it just makes it come off more shady.
Well, I also feel like a lot of these behaviors that Danny is exhibiting is like almost alcoholic behaviors in the sense of like hiding his drinking, the way that he speaks to his wife, the way that he thinks that he's better than everyone else, the manipulation he kind of also has. It just screams to me that he has a problem with alcohol that he doesn't want to acknowledge. And I feel like some TV shows really do glamorize it versus like really like showing people how to deal with it. Lala's a really good example, because she recognized she had an issue. She's talked about it openly about how she can't have alcohol around. She can be around it, but like I think it's really hard to see how he treats Nia, and I agree with Lala full-heartedly. Imagine how you treat your fucking wife behind closed doors. I think that his attitude of like, I wanted to have fun like on this trip because like I'm doing all this at home. You're the one who wanted to have a child, another child. So, and you're the one who keeps pressuring her to have more. And yet you came and fucking help your own wife. Like you're a pathetic piece of fucking shit. And if you were an ant, I would smush you with my shoe and then somehow revive you back to life and smush you again, you disgusting dirt.
Well, what you didn't see is that the next day, Lala and Danny do have a conversation. And she said, I'm not trying to judge you. Obviously he knows that she's sober. And she was like, I'm here to support you. And she kind of gave the same spiel that you did, but to Danny. And what I know is going to anger you is that he dismissed Lala and that conversation, saying that he isn't essentially an alcoholic. And I was like, Danny, I mean, all you got to do is talk to someone, because even if you're maybe not an alcoholic, you're using alcohol to cope with something. Mm-hmm. And like you can see that in both of these episodes. Because I had that in my notes because I was like, Danny, don't disrespect Lala like that. Like, she's coming with you with an open heart because she cares about you and she wants you to be okay.
Paige and Carl Radke, please come save the valley. Thank you.
Well, and also it's like we saw all this bullshit with Jax, and Danny was there front and center to see it, and yet he can't acknowledge it. I will have to go back and watch the rest of this episode, so my apologies to our listeners. But Amber, was there anything else from the Valley that you wanted to touch on?
Yeah. Well, I do want to say that in my little recap of the episode that I wrote to myself, it was mostly about the Danny and Nia relationship, because when you see the preview, it's still a hot topic for next week. But at one point in the episode, someone said that San Diego was a success of a trip. I would have to disagree with that wholeheartedly. I would say that it started off well. I don't think it ended pretty well. At one other point in the episode, Jason and Janet talk about adoption. They're trying for baby number 2, and if they can't conceive, I think Jason said he had adopted siblings. Janet knows family members who have adopted. So I was going to get your take on that. Maybe I'll wait for next week after you finish the episode. But I thought that was really nice that they were talking about, because I feel like not a lot of the Bravo stars have adopted. So I thought that was a really cool storyline, or potential storyline, maybe at the end of the season, maybe for a renewed. At another point, Jason ended up blowing up his knee while playing basketball. So he got even taken out in an ambulance. I was like, whoa. And I was watching the episode and I was like, when did this happen? So Jason, I know we'll find out probably next week, but I hope you're okay.
Well, I do think adoption's cool, and I think you're right. I mean, a lot of celebrities have adopted. I don't know if we hear about it throughout the Bravo universe, though, specifically. I find it very interesting that a lot of people are going different ways to do having children, my mom had tried a bunch of different fertility treatments and stuff like that, and same with one of my good friends, she did too, and it just didn't work out for her, so adoption ended up being the best way for her to complete her family. And same with my mom. I'm adopted, my siblings adopted, but I just also think that I almost compared myself to a shelter dog. I was going to say, there's just so many babies out there. Like, there's dogs in a shelter and cats in a shelter. But, it truly is, a way to give a chance of life to another child. I think that I did a lot of work with the foster care system in West Virginia my senior year of college. And I just do think that there's so many kids out there who deserve a chance at life, so many babies as well, but also older kids that, a lot of the times people want something like younger, a baby, fresh baby, but, I think it's important to know that every child deserves to be loved in that way that's in the foster care system. So adopt, don't shop. But I guess if you have to shop, I get it.
Oh my Lord.
I don't think that phrase works for kids.
My last note that I had for the episode was about Brittany, because she was talking about how Cruz was just so excited to see her when she got back from San Diego, that in her confessional she was crying about it, like happy tears and such, and how he's in such a much better place now that Jax is not in his life. And that just really made me so happy, because it just shows that she's becoming healthier, and she's really putting herself first, putting Cruz first. And I'm just happy that he's thriving.
Yeah, I really do think that kids can kind of pick up on that behavior of when their other parent isn't good. And so I too am also happy that he's in a better place. So I guess I'll let you know what I think next week about the rest of this episode, but my bad.
That's okay, because you know what you can't mess up? The Real Housewives of Rhode Island, because guess what? We're watching that together.
Let's go to Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
Slam pigs all aboard. Next stop, Slam Pig Land.
Where's the British accent? I miss the British accent.
Next stop, Slam Pig Land.
Thank you. I feel better now.
We've arrived at Slam Pig Nation. I actually have some quick thoughts. I think it's crazy for Kelsey to bring around her new boyfriend like he's been there the whole entire time. And like everyone's like, oh yeah, he's just here.
I agree, especially because she just ended it with the other guy. But I thought it was interesting too that at the end of that scene, she said how she told Bill that she wanted to be in an apartment by herself for a year, but if she got too serious, the ex would stop paying for the apartment. And I was like, so are you just using Bill so you're not alone, but you're also using your ex to pay for your rent? What?
Okay, so here are my thoughts. I think that when it comes to Kelsey and Rosie, they are both very insecure in their own ways. I find that Kelsey is insecure on like not wanting to be on her own. She needs someone to constantly kind of be there for her. She's had a boyfriend for the past 10 years. Heaven knows if she's had like other partners because he had another person too, her ex. I think she doesn't like the idea of being independent completely. She'll tout that she like does like being independent, but at the end of the day, she needs someone to support her because she doesn't know it any other way. I do believe that she's trying. When it comes to Rosie, I think Rosie is insecure about a lot of different things. I think she's insecure about her career, maybe how things have kind of like panned out and turned out for her. Um, Maybe she's insecure about how she looks. I don't know. But what I can tell is like from that fight with Kelsey and Rosie, it was two women screaming at each other their insecurities and nothing like really came from it. And that's why they got so triggered.
I could agree with that. Or you could see it as two strong personalities. Maybe she just, I don't know, they both know maybe what they're lacking. Well, no, I guess that goes back to you saying that they're compensating for what they're missing.
I also just feel like Rosie is somewhat jealous of Kelsey and like how Kelsey
Yes.
has been so accomplished with like her Miss Rhode Island. I think also about her like maybe her relationship because that's the biggest thing that Rosie keeps pulling out. And what really annoys me is when Rosie said in this episode, she keeps talking shit about my life. She keeps talking shit about my life. But Rosie was the one who brought up Kelsey's relationship constantly at the beginning of these episodes. And I was actually kind of rewatching a few episodes. It's always been fucking Rosie who has been bringing up Kelsey.
But then why would she keep doing that if allegedly she seems to be in a healthy relationship with her husband?
Because she's incredibly unhappy. I don't know with what she's unhappy with, but I just can tell that Rosie is just not a happy person and she just doesn't know how to be happy for others, I think. She has to be the best, I think. And I think before she met this group of women, she probably was the top bitch in her little friend group, but she's not anymore.
I could agree with that because I feel like if you're comparing her, assuming that actually I was maybe in a previous friend group, I mean, I think Rosie is more accomplished in that way because, of everything she's got going on. And Ashley I is just an influencer. And if you're adding Audrey's into that, it doesn't sound like it's very much a success story. It sounds like it's more of a pain in the butt.
I would agree. I think that Ashley I is someone who's very easy to probably push around. And so I think that it was easy for Rosie to kind of feel like she was up there, you know?
What did you think about Ashley's eyes meltdown at Audrey's?
I think it was 100% warranted. I think if I had friends who were grown ass women who were fighting each other over this fucking bullshit, I would be livid. I'd be so pissed. There was family there. There was like, friends there. There were probably like young kids. There were young kids there. How embarrassing that they couldn't take a minute to like take this fight outside.
If you were called a slam pig, would you wear it as a sash?
1000%. You ask this like you don't know me. I would 100% do that. I would change my Instagram name for a minute, like a minute Clara Cozy Slam Pig for US president. I don't know what the fuck, but it's just I thought that was funny. And like for the people who didn't think it was funny, it was like, come on now, like wear it with pride, baby.
So then I guess going back to, since you said it was like a joke, I feel like a hot topic also at the table was whether or not the car honking bullhorn scene from previous episode. Do you think that was disrespectful or do you think it was funny?
I think it was funny. I think that Kelsey could have just done it in the driveway instead of doing it while she was coming up. And I also think it wasn't a fucking whatever that was, megaphone. It was a car thing. So get it right. But also, like, Rosie was going to talk about the fucking floor plans anyway. So I don't know why she's like getting so fucking offended. I don't understand why Rosie's like actually blowing this out of proportion a little bit.
See, I could see where she's coming from on a disrespect level, because it's like, what was the point? Even if you personally think that was funny, I would not enjoy if someone just kind of started beeping up to my house. It's like, I don't need this. It's, and because I feel like the housing was a topic before, and I believe Rosie knew. So I guess, but I wonder if not Ashley, Rosie feels disrespected because of the relationship she has with Kelsey, knowing that she doesn't like her. Maybe that's why she found it disrespectful rather than funny, because of that specific relationship. Because it sounded like Liz thought it was funny and Joellen did, but they have a different relationship with Kelsey than Rosie does with Kelsey.
Do you think if Liz or Alicia or Joellen had done this to Kelsey or to Rosie, she would have found it funny?
I think Joellen, no. Actually, I think she would find it no to everybody, because I don't think she has like the relationship she does with Ashley I think she has a better friendship with her. So if Ashley I did it, I don't think she would have found it disrespectful. She probably would have found it funny. I feel like because she doesn't have that repertoire with some of the other ladies yet, that I don't think she would have found it funny. Maybe Liz I could see, because she had to have a connection in here somewhere, right, to get even into this group. Was it through Liz or Joe Ellen? I want to say Liz.
I think it was Liz, yeah.
So maybe Liz would be the only other person that if Liz beeped up to her house like that, she wouldn't have freaked out. But I feel like anybody else besides Ashley, she would have.
Yeah, and Ashley's not the type of person that's going to do that. I do want to quickly talk about how the pizza mama of it all, and how Alicia's basically begging her husband Billy for a section of pizza mama so that she can be a little bit supportive of herself.
Not husband. They're not married.
Oh, right,
yet,
her
remember?
partner. Right.
And I think that's why she's begging.
Yeah.
Because he could leave theoretically tomorrow and she's screwed financially because she hasn't worked because Billy supports her.
A fiance. I find this really disturbing. I find it really disturbing that like he didn't really want to say yes, I feel like, and it was because he only said yes he was on camera. I think that if I had a partner who wanted to financially support herself and be part of the business and work hard and like add things and also think about it, her name is going to bring you more business. Her name, this show, everything is going to bring you more business, and you don't want to somehow tie her into this already so that she's making her own money. So I don't know. For some reason, this just really deeply disturbed me.
That's funny you say that, because I feel like I had a different reaction to that scene, because at the same time, Alicia also admitted to that she wouldn't get the money if she didn't actually work. So then it makes me wonder what kind of goes on behind scenes, right? Does Alicia want to actually work, or is she only starting the storyline because she needs a storyline with Billy? That's her husband's name, right? Okay. Fiancés. Yes, I just corrected you. Thank you for correcting me. But I feel like that's it, because I feel like when I see her fiance on screen, he doesn't come off as a bad guy, and it doesn't feel fake like Danny. So I'm not sure. I guess I'm not sure in the sense of if he's faking it or not, but I want to believe that he is a good person and he actually does want the best for her, but maybe she just hasn't reached out and asked him for this until now.
Well, here's another thing. I agree with you. It was interesting. She said, unless I work. And maybe that's just her putting something on it, like to be like, I need to actually earn this money. Or else like it doesn't really feel like it's mine. So I do think I catch you there a little bit, but something about that scene didn't sit right with me. I feel like he would have been like, I love this idea. I think it's great. Yes, let's get you in there. It felt like he was pausing because he was like, I don't want you part of this business at all. I like the way that things are going. Like, why would you want to ruin it?
If she came to me with that type of presentation, I would be second guessing it too. Because it wasn't a real, I mean, if I'm thinking of presentations, like the business development people that work at my company, they're not coming up with a poster with pictures. They're coming up with slides. They know how to use an HDMI cord. And I just feel like the way she presented her ideas could have, if she wanted to be taken more seriously professionally, she should have gone more serious with the presentation too, Belly.
But also think about this. She's done nothing but raise her kids because he hasn't tied her into the business. And even if you're working at a pizza store, I don't think you know how to maybe do all of that. I don't know. I mean, you have to think about this. This is a woman who hit a woman with a car and loves a cracker.
But I think that's the thing. I think personality wise, or what we know of Alicia so far, that makes sense. But I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to know that the way she presented her ideas is not the way to present to investors. I feel like if she wanted to be taken more seriously, there's a thing called Google, there's a thing called ChatGPT. She could have figured it out.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I also think that, like, we're giving her a little bit too much credit. Or not, I don't know, maybe not enough credit because, like, who knows? I don't know. The rest of my notes was, like, I did feel bad for the driver during the Alicia and the Liz fight.
I had the same note because I felt so bad. One, that they did the car seat rotation, like musical chairs. And I was like, people, you already picked your seats. You just can't pick up and go. And the fact that they brought the charcuterie board and the driver was like, are you sure? I thought that was really funny. But imagine two grown women fighting like that in your back seat. That was insane.
Yeah, I can't say that like I really love that fight because I do feel like Alicia and Liz are actually good friends in real life and like out of the show. So it did break my heart. I do think that Liz came on a little bit too strong when it came to like saying you weren't homeless, like you gotta stop saying that type of stuff. But I can see why again Alicia maybe didn't word it correctly of like it wasn't that I was homeless, but like it was a very deep insecurity that she had.
I agree. So I'm hoping that, well, I don't think it's going to get resolved in the next episode, just based off the preview. So I'm very curious about that. My last point for this episode is I had no idea that Boston was only 45 minutes from, well, they said Rhode Island, but I'm assuming 45 minutes from wherever Kelsey lives. Not Kelsey, Rosie lives. I don't know why, just Boston sounded so much further than I guess it actually is. So I feel like I learned something new today.
Yes, Boston is very close to Providence, and a lot of people, like my uncle used to work in Boston, but he was living in Warwick, Rhode Island, so it was a very easy commute for him. So it's like basically driving from here to your work, probably like that distance, like not distance, but like time wise. Any other points on Rhode Island before we get into the bake of the week?
I think that's it for me. If you're good.
I am good. I want to see more about the Rulla and Brian drama. I know at the end of this season, we're probably going to get a little bit about. Oh, wait, I forgot to tell you. Dino, Liz's friend, do you remember that guy that like caused a whole bunch of stuff? Yeah. Has been sentenced to life in prison due to smuggling cocaine into the United States. Let me pull that up real quick. Hold on. I just saw it.
My mind is blown. Yeah. If that headline is true, that is insane.
According to Reality Blurb, Real Housewives of Rhode Island star Liz McGraw's friend Dino Gilmonte is facing life in prison after allegedly getting caught smuggling cocaine into the United States.
This says he got hit with 7 felony charges.
That's crazy.
Dang, Dino.
Yeah. So
Liz just lost a friend.
Yeah, she did. But also Dino's ex-wife or ex-baby mama also had a kid with Aaron Hernandez, who is like that base or football killer, if you all remember that from the New England Patriots. So she's got a lot of ties that are like kind of dangerous.
Yeah, I recommend that this woman no longer dates men. Either stay single or become a lesbian.
Anyway, on that note, bake of the week.
Transition.
I know, that was so solid. So this week's bake, actually technically we have two, is inspired by our bestest friend Danny and our bestest friend Kelsey slash Rosie, I guess. So for our actual bake this week, we decided to do something that was sweet and salty, since Danny, I would say overall he's not a bad guy, but let me tell you, he can throw some salt out when he's a little intoxicated. So he was the inspiration behind this bake, and that is a salted caramel cookie. Our other, we'll say, I guess, what's that called when it's not really something but it is? Oh well.
More description.
I don't know. Like, okay, I'll just keep going. So we did pigs in a blanket as part of our dinner today for Slam Pig.
I like my pigs warm. My slam pigs extra warm.
Oh.
With some honey mustard. Yum.
Amber, are you talking about a misnomer?
Yeah. I remember, Corbyn, I've got puppy brain. And it's 11:32 right now.
No. I think misnomer is what you were looking for.
It was.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you. But so our ingredients for the salted caramel cookies, for those who are curious, they were 1 stick of butter, 80 grams of sugar, 80 grams of light brown sugar, one egg, wow. One egg at room temperature, a half a teaspoon of vanilla, 250 grams of flour, half a teaspoon of baking soda, not baking powder. I made that mistake while baking. I was really upset with myself because I do know better. And then 125 grams of caramel. But with this recipe in particular, I Pinterest easy salted caramel recipes. And while I was making it, I told Corbyn, I was like, this is just a little too easy. She was like, you literally looked up easy salted caramel recipes. But with this one, the original recipe made 24 and it wasn't in grams. And so I had to half it and then convert. So I had a lot of brain power used on that today. And it said it was supposed to make a dozen. It made more than a dozen, unless these cookies were supposed to be ginormous.
They were still pretty big anyway.
And they were really, really good, honestly.
Delicious.
I really liked them. I was really impressed on how you were able to take the baking powder out and replace it. It was very impressive.
Well, I had dumped the powder in one place, so I just scooped it out.
What was the thing you wanted to bring up to me on the podcast?
I was just curious to know if you knew why sugar is considered a wet ingredient.
Is it because when it gets hot, it dissolves and becomes wet?
Your answer is half correct. So nice. I'm very proud of you.
Is it also because it doesn't absorb the wetness as much?
Now you're getting cold.
Okay, is it because it absorbs the wet stuff?
Yeah. So according to the Google, sugar is a wet ingredient because it has the ability to dissolve in liquid. Unlike dry ingredients such as flour or cocoa powder, sugar has a high solubility in water. When sugar comes into contact with a liquid, whether it's water, milk, or any other liquid ingredient, it dissolves and combines it with creating a wet mixture. And then it goes into like the molecular structure and chemical bonds and stuff. So I won't bore the listeners with that. But when I was reading this recipe earlier, I was like, well, sugar's dry. It's not obviously a liquid. It's not, I can see why butter is considered liquid, egg, milk, water, or whatever. But I always was curious as to why sugar. So I finally looked it up and I thought it'd be a good question for you just to see if you happen to know.
Well, I knew part of it. I was going to say, when you were talking, your lips looked really nice and luscious.
Thank you. I'm not going to lie. I'm staring at my video. I'm like, oh, the lips are lipping.
The lips are lipping.
What is your... I almost said your peach in your pit, but that's not what it's called.
No.
We don't even do highs and lows. This is our final whisk.
Yeah, what's your final whisk?
Ooh, before you do a final whisk, I have a tiramisu update.
Please tell the people, because we said last week we were going to do it. Wait, was tiramisu last week? 2 weeks
last
ago.
week was ice cream sundaes, yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
So,
our tiramisu diaries. This is our first entry.
And it happened totally by accident. I was working late on, I don't know, Wednesday, I think. I was at my office till 9 o'clock. And my friend stayed with me because she was doing some other stuff. But we went to Colada Shop in DC. And she was like, hey, let's get this tiramisu. I was like, okay, perfect. It was so good. It was like the right amount of coffee flavor. It was amazing. So I think that I'm going to have to change my answer from Tate to Colada Shop.
I did tell her, those Cubans, they know what they're doing with espresso.
Mm-hmm.
That's really funny, especially because tiramisu is an Italian dessert.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. But yeah, it was delicious. I highly recommend Colada Shop. Shout out.
Well, my final wish this week is to read the labels. Because I was so upset. And to read directions. Also, I forgot to put in the salt with the dry ingredients. So when I was folding in the caramel with the dough, I was like, oh shoot, I forgot the salt. So I also had to fold in the salt. So read your directions. And my other one would be prioritize sleep. This puppy brain sucks. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm gonna also say sleep when the baby sleeps, man. Like, that is like the biggest thing. I was telling my mom, I was like, I feel like I sleep more now with like Arlo, which like he's fully passed out on my lap right now, which is like really nice. They finally settled down. He was snoring a little bit. I don't think he is anymore. Hold on. He's
Oh
not.
no, I heard like a little bit.
No, he's not. But I think that my final whisk would be, we gotta keep putting men named Danny Bucco in their place. And I really feel like Lala Kent was onto something there. And I think it's so important that we should humble men. Like, men are not lonely enough. And I feel like if it's anything, that's what I've learned. Also, like, get out of your comfort zone, because Corbyn and I did that this week and I do feel really good about it. And we did have a really good time. And also, El Presidente has really good bean taquitos.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, those
Highly
were
suggest
amazing.
those. Yeah.
We were flying high.
We were
living it up.
flying really high, but I will say, like, my spicy watermelon cooler was like actually really spicy. Like, next morning wasn't great.
Oh no, my cucumber mint was very refreshing. I actually very much enjoyed it.
That sounds delicious. But on that note, I think it's time to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Knead For Reality for the recipes and the chaos of our lives and shows.
Leave a review or don't. It's fine. If you do, it's great. Suggest to a friend and to all the people who need the reality in your life. And with that, we'll sign off quietly because I have a sleeping baby. So.
Ciao, ciao. Bye. Bye.